Imagine. Imagine if another world is possible. What would it look like to co-create a world filled with love, peace, happiness, and harmony? Imagine a world in which we can make a shift from the current capitalist economy in which only a few control the resources of the planet into an abundant economy like that of nature. All is abundant in nature, living in peace, love, and harmony. Is it possible to shift out of our busy lives of maximizing profits, creating return on investments, and working in jobs that are soul-sucking instead of soul-giving? How can we create the world that we want to live in? Perhaps we are at the brink of a new way of being, and that technology will disrupt our current systems and revolutionize how people interact in a global community. To shift the paradigm of capitalism, one might consider how nature creates symbiotic relationships and how symbiosis can shift us out of authoritarian hierarchical systems into collective communities by utilizing decentralized technology that can connect collective communities from Bangladesh to Chiapas, Mexico, to eradicate poverty and create a new model of exchange that encourages inclusivity, collaboration, and social good. We explore leading experts in technology and receive a glimpse from the changemakers and innovators as we explore our inquiry. Is it possible to utilize technology to change social systems for the benefit of humanity? Imagine a society in which everyone lives in an abundance of love, peace, happiness, harmony, and acceptance. From eradicating the commodification of human beings and the labor workforce they produce, to collectively creating an abundant utopic society, one in which each and every one of us wants to live in. How do we shift out of a desire to make $1 billion and into a desire to impact 1 billion people around the world? Let's take a look at what the leaders, innovators, and changemakers are saying about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency as to how this technology can create social change and potentially eradicate poverty, shifting us out of a capitalist economy into an abundant economy.
So worldwide peace is a world where really everybody has good feelings towards each other. It's a world where jealousy and frustrations doesn't exist anymore. We would like everybody to be happy and be in the moment. We don't want people to feel frustrated about their human condition. But for that we need to create inclusion and equal opportunities for everyone, so that everyone can feel like they can be the best version of themselves and achieve their dreams. So just one thing I would like to remember is that, you know, like in the stakeholders of a company, of an organization, you have customers, you have investors, you have founders, and you have employees. And in the previous system, in the actually current system, which is a capitalistic economy, all the interests of all those parties are different. The customers want as much value out of an organization as they can for as little money. An investor wants as much money out of an organization with as little money put in the beginning. A founder wants probably like to... Actually, the founder has maybe the purest intention for his organization most of the time. They want their dream to become alive while being sustainable. And then you have like the employees who want to get as much money with as many time given to the organization. So this is a little bit unsustainable, as you realize. Nobody's explained it like this, but when you put those words together, you realize that everybody is just trying to take as much of an organization as it can for like selfish interest. So now with the cooperative model, actually, if we have a token and everybody has ownership of this token, and the value of this token will rise as the community will become bigger and the value of this network will become bigger, then everybody who is part of this cooperative will be incentivized for the cooperative to do better. And investors, customers, founders, and employees will have the same interest because they will have the same voice. They will all have the same share of this cooperative. It's called a social share, actually. And the more people will be part of this network, the better this community is doing, the better the performance and the quality of service or product provided by this cooperative will be, the higher each person in this environment will do and will be rich. I mean, rich or like have means to do whatever they want with their life. So it will bring us to a world where social impact will be more important, and our dream with Serendipia is that the richest people in the world aren't the ones who have the most money or the more materialistic value, but the ones who bring the most positive impact to the world, or the most sustainable to the world, or the ones who make other people the happiest on this planet. And we believe that we can do that through symbiosis that will lead us to an abundance economy. Abundance is really a world where everybody has whatever they want, as we discussed before. It's abundance is part of an inclusive economy movement, and everybody is just happy. I mean, it comes down to happiness, individual happiness worldwide. And we can do that through symbiosis. So what is symbiosis, really? Symbiosis is how the world evolved since millions of years, and since the creation of this very universe. Symbiosis is how we can take people together. And it started with molecules, and atoms came together to create molecules, and molecules came together to create bigger beings and bigger organisms, I would say. And then those organisms came together to start to do vegetable or the environment, and then out of that animals, and then beings like human beings, and then our brain is just one more evolutionary step in the process of symbiosis. And we believe that the next step of symbiosis is how we can take humankind and the rest of the environment and get them into symbiosis in a way that we can all work together in a way that will provide abundance for everyone. And we believe that the cooperative model will be really helpful for that. So inclusion has been a topic in economics that has been discussed a lot over probably the last centuries. But the technology and collaborative tools were probably not existing yet. That's why I'm so enthusiastic about crypto economics, token economics, and cryptocurrencies or open ledger technologies, because it will allow humans in general to create new tools to collaborate together that will incentivize new behaviors, and that will allow us to tap into new fields or fields that were existing before but that we couldn't tap into too much, which are behavioral finances and behavioral economics. How we can influence new behaviors in people's daily life. So, for example, really now we live in a capitalistic economy, and those tools that are cryptocurrencies and open ledger technologies will help us. I'm saying help us because it won't do it on its own. It will come also from higher consciousness, but it will allow us to reach an economy of abundance.
We're now living in another revolution which I didn't think we'd ever see in our lifetime. Something which is so transformational that will be written about in books in years to come. But this revolution will actually move up a digit. We're going to be creating billionaires and trillionaires. There's no doubt in my mind that somebody's going to wake up with a coin and all of a sudden wake up and they own $1 trillion or something. I believe that when we look to the year ahead, some of you are going to wish you did something differently. But because standing still is not an option. Whether you run into the fire, run away from the fire, do something else, that's up to you. But the opportunities to create opportunities have never been before as strong. If you're an entrepreneur that wanted someone to believe in you and couldn't find capital, now you can. And if you have an idea and can find someone you can express yourself, this new economy can support your dreams. And it is transformational.
So we wanted to talk a little bit about what's happening in the cryptocurrency world today. Would people like to know what the next phase might be?
Sure. Tell us.
You were critical in causing this disruption through the Ethereum platform. What were you thinking you were building when you built Ethereum?
You're not investing in a specific company, but you're investing in an entire ecosystem. So that's what I'd be focusing on now. 2018 is the year when we flip. And then starting in 2019, you'll start seeing hundreds, if not, no, I should say thousands. I'm going to go out and say that within 2 years we'll have 10,000 ICOs in a year.
That's not a lot.
We will have ICOs in the double-digit billions of dollars.
Yeah.
We need to be more mindful of what we are doing, and when we can be mindful of every step of the way in which we are building a movement, then the movement will just breathe mindfulness, and everybody will be more inspired to be more responsible and conscious about their daily life. What we are building with Serendipia is a platform where we build cooperatives, like tokenized cooperative, with security tokens, meaning that people can share ownership. But then this platform will be used to create new kind of economies, or like global teams to global issues. So let's say we have somebody who is in Bangladesh who want to create access to clean water. At the moment, like the farmer in Bangladesh who would like to create access to more clean water is very isolated, and they don't have access to knowledge, capital, or talent. But at the same time, like we have investors here in Silicon Valley, or we have like talents in big cities like New York and London, and they're not maybe working on the most important issues for the planet. So imagine a world where people, like local entrepreneurs in developing countries, can get access to the same talent, capital, and skills as we do have in Silicon Valley or New York or London, where we can create a cooperative in Bangladesh and like sell social shares of this cooperative to investors in Silicon Valley, so, like rewards developers maybe in New York want to build on the platform, on the technological side of their project, and get rewarded in tokens. And even like imagine a student in London who would like to give a hand with social media and advertising for the cooperative in Bangladesh and get rewarded in tokens. And once you have this global team where everybody has the opportunity to get rewarded for their work, talent, and time. So that's one of the use cases. Another one of the use cases that is really important is the concept of microeconomies. So that's one of my favorites as well. Like microeconomies is, let's say, you have an area in Mexico like the Zapatistas, which is one of the poorest areas in Mexico because they don't have access to the same financial services or that anyone else can do in their country. We could like create a cooperative out of that community and create a token for them to be able to trade among themselves. Because what is an economy in the end? An economy is allowing every person, part of a system or an organism, to be able to focus on what they are best at doing, whether it's a service or a product. But then now, if you don't have money, or like you don't have access to that money or that token or just that tool to exchange and allow each people to focus on what they're best at doing, then the economy is not efficient. You will have people who you can't do everything on your own. So what is money really? Money has been created to be a universal tool of collaboration. That's the intention in the beginning, but then it has been appropriate. It has been like taken over by people who didn't have the right intention a couple of centuries ago to like benefit themselves. But then now imagine you create a cryptocurrency, a limited amount of tokens for an area, and you allow them to trade among themselves. You will be able to create a microeconomy, and in the end allow them to reach abundance, because then suddenly you have like all those guys who can, let's say you do like bakeries, like you do bread, you will be able to just focus on that and get rewarded with that tokens. It doesn't matter what kind of currency it is, as far as it's accepted. So in the Zapatistas we could just create a cooperative with a token, and then what's even better is that people coming out, like outside investors coming in that community who would invest money there, then the value of the tokens of the Zapatistas will increase, which it means that the indigenous people and the locals will get more value, even if people are coming. So it's also a tool against colonialism, because it means that people are coming outside will actually add more value to what exists already. So that's so many benefits for microeconomies within the cooperative model that we are incentivizing.
I've announced, I think that the next 5 years, I'm refocusing my whole life around implementing this guy's vision. 5 years, we think we can live 5 billion people out of poverty, or at least lay the wrong floor. We now have, for the first time in 6,000 years, we have a way to have consensual exchange that's trustworthy without a third party. That is at its DNA, at the genetic level, why this is so revolutionary. We're going to disrupt institutions that have been binding civilization together for thousands of years.
First of all, like it's the very early stage of this technology and this movement. So I really can't wait what we'll build all together. But I think the intention, the first use cases here, is really that, like in Bangladesh, for the people on the ground there who are local entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, who want to create more abundance or like a scarcity for at the moment for their community, it will allow them to create a global team and get more access to capital through the ICO model, initial community offering. I mean, in our case, we call it initial community offering because we want to build communities and not only coins. It will allow them to leverage on people outside of their community worldwide, who can create a campaign or even a documentary and allow anyone on our platform to invest in them or provide them with their time or skills and build things for them. And then I like to say, like as Brooke Pierce is saying, like now a billionaire is not somebody who is making $1 billion, but somebody who is impacting 1 billion people in the world. And I really believe in that. And the thing is that, like myself, when I'm born and raised in Belgium, I used to live in Brussels, and there I wanted to help communities worldwide because I made some volunteering in Africa, and like as many people did actually. And in the end, I wasn't like, okay, how can I actually benefit them on the long term? How can I help them to get the same opportunities as I had when I was a child, to have like access to like food or every day and like clean water every day? But one way to do that is to allow them to collaborate worldwide. So imagine like with that platform, it's a big collaborative tool at scale where you can create a cooperative. And then let's say, imagine the local entrepreneur in Bangladesh want to build a new like cooperative to help them to create systems for clean water. And but for that they need an engineer to build the machine, and then they need like developers to build the collaborative tools using their smartphones that they all have, or most of them at the moment. But I mean, they will need engineers and developers, and it's costly. So that they won't get the resources on the ground to do that. So imagine we pitch this issue on our platform, and you have developers who are in Silicon Valley who are like, even students at Stanford who are anyway stuck in their classroom, and over the weekend they could like code an app for the local social entrepreneur in Bangladesh to help them to build that. The student here in Stanford will feel good because younger generation, especially everybody in the world in general, but like the most we advance in history, the more people are aware of the human condition, and people have empathy, so they want to do good. So they will want to help them, and they will get rewarded for security tokens of the cooperative in Bangladesh. So they will even have ownership of that cooperative, and they will be able to earn a little part of the profit of the cooperative. Or in the model we're building, like 95% of the profit will be reinvested in the cooperative to make more impact, and 5% will be given back to the token holders. So the guy in Stanford, instead of doing a student job in the cafeteria of Stanford, they can, and just do it for money, they could even do social impact and get rewarded for it through our model. So it's a revolution in the way we can like allow people to collaborate, do social impact, and earn an income in a way that will benefit people outside of where you are living in. Because everybody, when you are here in San Francisco, let's face it, we have everything we need. You have 2 billion people on this planet who are in poverty, and 900 million people who don't get access to proper food or clean water every day. For me, this is like unacceptable. So I want it to be a tool for people to reach global peace through worldwide collaboration, or a big collaborative tool for peace, and reach and make the bridge between the current capitalistic economy to the abundance economy, and we want to bring more symbiosis. So again, like symbiosis is allow people to come together for a higher purposes. And higher purposes here is for everyone to be happy, for example. And for them to be happy, they need to be healthy and drink water or like eat food. And if we can create global teams for global issues, then using our platform where everybody is incentivized and all the stakeholders have the same incentives, then everybody will want to work on the same trajectory and we have the same objective. That wasn't existing before because the legislation and legalities didn't allow that. So I would say we are a big actor of globalization, but for social goods and equal opportunities. Well, I think the next 20 years are what we call like the Industrial Revolution 3.0. It's a crypto revolution. It's a social revolution. We're socially re-engineering everything, and it's much needed to reach abundance. So yeah, get on board.
In a world of uncertainty, only time will tell what the future holds for humanity. Will the technological advances through blockchain technology and cryptocurrency that the leading experts speak of disrupt our current systems to eradicate poverty, create positive social change, and collective communities that encourage inclusivity, symbiosis, world peace, happiness, and harmony? I can't help but get excited to see how this technology will evolve. Only time will tell.